We move now to a tutorial. The tutorial will address AI in education and will be presented by a team from SQU and PDO. We have the team is led by Professor Abdulnasir Hussein and contributed by Dr. Nadir and Dr. Hassan Lawati and Mr. Rayees Afroz from SQU. We have Ms. Muna Subhi from PDO. Professor Abdulnasir, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Shahan. Thank you, Dr. Shahan, for producing us, and also I hope that you see the screen now.
We see the screen and we can hear you.
Thank you very much. And thank you for Dr. Muhammad Mustafa, who introduced our subject in a comprehensive presentation. So we have to talk today about artificial intelligence in education. Yes, Rayees, can you?
Yeah, should we start?
Yes, we started.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, so our tutorial consists of really of 4 parts. First of all, I will talk about introduction and objectives of applying AI in education at Sultan Qaboos University. Of course, the introduction has been clearly made by Dr. Muhammad, why we need AI and what are the benefits of AI in education. But we will summarize that in small issues. And also we'll talk about a project that we have at SQU. We have a project about AI in education, and we will talk about the objective of this project. This is my role. The second presenter will be Dr. Nadir from Electrical and Computer Engineering Department. He will talk about experience of selected world universities. Of course, this was one step in our project to look at the experiences of worldwide universities. And then Dr. Hassan Lawati, also in the Electrical and Computer Engineering Department, and he is the Assistant Dean of College of Engineering for Academic Affairs. He will talk about what we need at SQU in our intelligent education system, some special requirements that we needed at SQU. And then the main part of the tutorial will be delivered by Mr. Afroz Muhammad and Ms. Muna Subhi, who worked in the designing boot and developed that boot for many advantages for the system. And we will see what they have did. Next. So this is the first, yeah. So artificial intelligence, as I teach this subject at the College of Engineering, and artificial intelligence can be defined in many forms. It has not only one definition, it has many definitions. And one of the definitions that defined by Dr. Muhammad, that artificial intelligence is that algorithm that need to be done in which humans do it better. So artificial intelligence is not that you need to calculate long equations that computer can do it better than you. No, artificial intelligence to do something that you do it better than the computer. Similarly, like for example, speaker recognition, image recognition, voice recognition, fingerprint recognitions. So these are what we can say. Another definition simply can be defined as developing software and or hardware techniques to simulate human intelligence. And we know that AI has unimaginable capabilities, and there is a real revolution introduced by AI in all fields. And one of the fields is education. Before 2020, we have a symposium on artificial intelligence in medicine, and that also has changed everything in medicine, AI, and also now in education. AI system can enable education process. They can improve education. But the idea is not to replace the teacher. That is very important. People are afraid from new technologies that will close jobs and people will lose jobs. No, AI cannot replace the educator, cannot replace the teacher. AI can help him, elaborate him, facilitate his work. Also, AI can enhance teaching and learning methods. It has characteristic of personalized and adaptive learning. It can help the advising system, student assessment, learning system, and the academic life. It can improve the academic life of the students in the campus also. Next. This project at SQU really is sponsored by Omantel, the national telecommunication company in Oman, and thanks for their support. They support us a lot in our research, and one of the projects that they support us by in this project of AI in education. And it is a collaboration between College of Engineering and Communication and Information Research Center. When we wrote our proposal, these are our projects and the aims in the project. The main aim of the project is to study the possible opportunities and challenges in applying AI in the education system at Sultan Qaboos University. What are the possibilities? What are the challenges? Second objective is to study the experiences of some international universities who are applying AI in education. Third objective is to design a roadmap of applying AI in education at SQU with an action plan. So at the end, we need to look at the experiences of other universities. We need to see what are the challenges, where we can apply AI, and how we can apply AI in education. And of course, try to use open source software, free open source software. So we need to, in action plan, to also to address the ethical, legal implications of AI in education. What are the challenges here? And measure and evaluate the system that we select. We have studied many systems and how we can select and how can we measure the efficiency and evaluate the system. And also, of course, it is not only for Sultan Qaboos University. We need to have this especially for the schools, because we need to begin early, not at the university level, at school level, as Dr. Noura mentioned also in her presentation. So that is very important to promote such applications for secondary schools in the and primary schools in the Sultanate. So what are the project significance and importance? There are academic significance. So AI can have solutions that have been tested globally and can be implemented locally at SQ. We need to show how AI technologies are helping education system to improve the quality of education. The project also will clarify how learners and teachers are to be prepared for AI current and future world in Oman. We say that AI is changing everything, the new technologies, the fourth revolution. So with AI in education, it means that students will learn AI also. And also they will use AI and they will promote AI for the society. So that is what the project will act for effective promotion of the AI related education also for schools. What are the benefits that we can get to Oman or any country that use AI in education system? The roadmap to be designed for short-term and long-term application of AI in education. For example, we can advise that to use it in this college, in this direction, how to improve the courses, how to improve the advising system, how to improve the information of the web, how can the student get information easily from the web. So these are important for our students, and this can be used for other institutes also. And applying AI in education will help in preparing the society to the future of AI or AI-powered future in all fields. And stating all opportunities and challenges will help decision makers in Oman implementing governmental plans to achieve Oman Vision 2040 in implementing AI technologies, because we know that Oman has a 2040 vision, and there are a lot of work in the direction to improve everything. And this our symposium here is one of the activities that in this direction, and we are supporting two major fields in this symposium. We are investigating the intelligent education and also the digital economy. So these are the routes to AI impact education, using AI in education to solve some of the educational challenges, as will be clarified by Afroz and Muna. What are the challenges that can be solved? And Dr. Hassan also will mention some of the needs, especially for our SQ, because we have some regulations that are not there in other universities. So how can AI adapt it to this regulation? Educating people about AI so they can use it safely and effectively. Changing education to focus on human intelligence and prepare the people for the AI world. They are not mutually exclusive. Those are three routes. They are interconnected. So if you use AI effectively in education, we will help people to understand AI. And as more people understand AI, they will see why things need to be changed in all fields. So now we will come to small issues that has been clarified by Dr. Muhammad Mustafa. So I'll pass them fastly here. What are the advantages of AI to the educational system? We look at these special advantages. There are advantages for the student, and the advantages for the student is personalization. Learning is one of the biggest important issue in education. So with the use of AI, students have a personalized approach to learning programs based on their own experiences and preferences. AI-based learning can adapt to each student's level of knowledge, speed of learning, desired goals, so that can get the most out of their education. So AI can be adapted to the student level. And if the student, if for example, you have an excellent student, he will see more advanced, challenging example. If the student performance was not good, for example, you will see more tutorial to do practice. All of that will be automatic through AI. Students normally ask the questions, and those questions can be asked for the instructor, but also one can design also the system so that the student can get the information from the AI system by asking what we call it common question and answers. So if we write, the student can write his question, look at all the material to find that answer. So this is an example of how can AI facilitate the work of the student. Quick responses, as I said, to find the answer to their most common questions. Not only does this save up a lot of time for these are the advantages for the instructor. The student can, of course, help a student spend less time tracking down answers or waiting for a response to their questions. So quick responses, as we said, they will save time to the student and the instructor, and help a student to spend less time, for example, to visit the instructor in his office to get his answer for a simple question, that he can find it easily through the AI system. Universal access to learning, of course, this has been also clarified by Dr. Muhammad, that with the 24/7 access for learning. This is that student, we can expect that with the advanced education implementing AI, student maybe don't need now to travel to study in abroad and pay a lot of money, and with more difficulties, living expenses, so they can stay at home and learn. So this is what we can think about in the future, that students in a class are sitting from different countries, and at the same time, or even at different times, they can access it at any time. AI also can help the educators by the same advantages for the personalization. If they help the instructor to know their student, their level, abilities, history, about which sections or part of the chapters or lessons that need to be, for example, summarized, or need to be, for example, explained more in detail. From the performance of the student, AI system can inform the instructor to give more tutorial for those students, to explain more this subject, and so on. Answering a question, of course, if the system will answer some common questions, typically ask questions without involving the instructor, this will save more time for the educators and let them focus about research or preparing the material, and also improving the student engagement for better education. Task automation, of course, this is also a clear advantage. If we have seen it now in the COVID-19, when we all switched to online teaching, we noticed that it helps us a lot. Maybe it is the experience was not there at the beginning, but after one semester, all the instructors find that AI, that online teaching, for example, because everything can be automated. Everything can be stored in the computer. It will make the work of the instructor more easy. Thank you. And now Dr. Nadir will talk about experience of selected world universities.
Yeah, thank you very much, Professor Abdulnasir, and Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon, everyone. So I'll be talking, like Professor Abdulnasir has mentioned very nicely, and the usefulness of AI in education, and what are the challenges. And so this project is basically, in the project, these things are tackled and in education sector. So here I tried to summarize some world universities, those who are using AI in education, and how these things basically they are facilitating the tasks of the of faculty and of so as you know that from admissions to teaching to grading to allocating funds or scholarships, all these things can be automated, AI, using AI. So this slide just shows a little bit basics, like for example, at a very basic level. So, everybody knows that AI is the process of using computers and machines to mimic, human perception. So basically in the decision making and other processes to complete a task which is there. So if I put it differently, AI is when machines are engaged in high-level pattern matching and learning in the process. So basically, this is what happens. So AI can help students learn better and faster when it is paired with high-quality learning materials and instructions. So AI systems can also help students get back on track faster. And this is the which I will show you in next slides. And by alerting teachers to problems, basically the teacher which cannot see, which we cannot predict. So this AI will help facilitate in that aspect. So basically, what I will conclude that AI can help in education sector, of course, in teachers and AI collaboration, and differentiated and individualized learning, universal access for all of the students, and automated administrative and academic tasks, and also definitely tutoring and support outside the classroom because it is available 24/7. So let us take example of the first university, Georgia Tech in US. So they used very interestingly teaching assistants, and the name of the teaching assistant, which was the AI robot, the name was Jill Watson. And the students didn't know for a couple of years that Jill Watson, with whom they are collaborating, is not human. Although there was a clue, IBM Watson, which our engineers will show it. Although the Watson is common in the name Jill Watson or IBM Watson, but the students didn't know. And the class of approximately 300 students, in a semester, they posted about 10,000 messages. And this was online, of course. And which is basically, if there is a human being, so it is very, difficult to tackle. I discussed with my other presenter, Dr. Hassan Lawati, who is the assistant dean. He receives daily the emails, which are at least in 1 hour, 100 plus, 200 plus, like that one. So very difficult to figure out which to look and how to look. So if you see 10,000 messages in a semester, so who is going to help out? So basically, so these, when they sorted out the data, this Georgia Tech University, they found that the 97% was the success rate in answering those questions so accurately, and the students and the visitors were satisfied with that. So where humans cannot go, Jill will go, of course. And what humans do not want to do, Jill can automate. Yeah, there is also another thing that maybe some humans would not like to do, some aspects or some routine things they would consider it. And in 2016, Georgia State University, Georgia Tech, they introduced AI chatbot named Pounce, okay, and that reduced summer melt, well, dropout, you know, and this is another interesting feature they found, that almost in summer, some students dropped out from that. So they noticed that in fall, almost because they facilitated their academic and financial hurdles, they removed basically the bot removed their hurdles and they answered the things, and it facilitated. So they re-enrolled, and almost 324 students re-enrolled, which they were not expecting in fall. So which was because being a private university, they always look for that one. So in fall classes, they found 324, which were the, I mean, benefit, I would say, in the fall classes. And so basically the chatbot, what they had designed, which uses in the background the AI, common obstacles it removed, like enrollment issues, what the students face in financial aid applications, because that is also, it takes, you know, a lot of hassle. So AI helps a lot in that one. Placement exams in the courses or the registrations, you know, issues. So college students also need learning to be more engaging and personalized, because, you know, sometimes the students would like to have it very like kind of one-to-one interaction, which they would like. So this robot will help out in this direction. So in another university, like for the University of Iowa, I mean, they used an energy efficiency, you know, AI. So basically what they did, they have several campuses in the US. So they used AI to monitor energy efficiency, and if there is any problems, so to address those problems. So basically, you know, if the staff, basically staff is there, it does not mean that they have removed, I mean, they have automated fully. I mean, it assists staff. Otherwise, they need more mechanical skills rather than IT skills. Yeah. The next university is University of Texas. So they are using AI in water conservation, because what they are doing basically, Donald Hook, you know, he was hired as a you can say landscaping purpose. So in 2012, he found, I mean, normally 8 hours a day to monitor and adjust the sprinkler systems, what was installed in the university. But now he says he used AI and it takes about 30 minutes, you know, even if he's outside the city, and these things can be, you know, automated. They are automated in that one. So this is an advantage. And if you see the next Ocean County College, they are using in enrollment and retention, you know, engagement. This is a big use of AI. So in 2017, they launched a chatbot named Reggie to answer enrollment related questions for prospective, which, you know, Mr. Rayees and Ms. Muna will talk about that, how it helps a lot. So Reggie, I mean, started with a knowledge base of 1,200 questions. Of course, it is based on the previous knowledge, and the database, you know, increases, and then it is more accurate answers are given. So in its first year, and responded almost 14,000 questions, you know, 24/7, so anytime, and so accurately. So Reggie could answer 98% of questions without referring them to a human. Of course, I mean, if there are certain questions which are not asked before, or not data is not available, of course it will be referred to a human being which can answer. But any question can be asked. In another university, now this is a very good feature, and very, I mean, so many universities are working in it, like University of California, they are working in examination integrity. So basically they use an AI invigilator called Examity for online testing. So exams are being conducted online using whatever, and they are monitored, like proctoring is done on the backside is AI. So like, for example, biometric keystrokes analysis, predictive analysis, or video review are analyzed to verify students' identities and protect the content integrity. And it is used also to prevent cheating, and traditional examination settings are there. And of course, there are in the market AI-driven tools which are used easily for plagiarism detection, spell check, grammar check. These are all the benefits which I am talking. So there is another university, I think Rensselaer Polytech, Institute, which also use AI in learning engagement. This is another. So they created a classroom to learn, Chinese, like for example, Mandarin, as they are in China, this language they learn. So in another University of Montreal, de Montreal, they use AI in measuring students' engagement. Also, they use for this one. So they have, classcraft engagement management system, EMS. So they see. You can check the students' progress. Of course, the faculty can also look into it. And basically, it is like a gameplay they use in that sense. So to make it more fun and learning becomes easier. So personalized learning programs are also available. Their students are engaged. In the school, especially, it is very useful. And so basically, in my conclusion, so I was talking about the world universities. In the conclusion, I would say that AI can be a powerful tool for education, for sure. But, like introducing any technology, the faculty must be part of the implementation, because faculty and admin staff, and they must be part of it. And here we are also only just beginning to understand the privacy issues with AI technology. The focus in IT governance going forward will be on the ethical issues of data more than compliance. So basically, this is also, and there are tools being joined by new, more powerful and controversial. Well, why I said that? Because there are applications that answers academic questions, grade assignments, recommend classes, and even teach. There are applications which will help you in the background, and the students might use that one in. So there are some controversy. There is debate to which extent it can be used. But anyways, there are always positive sides of these one. So as the presence of this technology on campus grows, so do concerns also grow. Of course, there is always concern for this one. So in at least one case, just I will finish here, that a promising use of AI in admission decisions, the university use the AI in admission. So in admissions, there are some criteria, and the filtration criteria, there are thousands of students are applying. So over there, if it is not secure in those things, so the system they started, but it was halted because the algorithms which were used, so they were, I would say, compromised. So there are some checks and balances which needs to be done, so that but at the end it is more. So thank you very much from my side. And now Dr. Hassan Lawati, who's our assistant dean, he will talk about AI in education. Thank you.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم جميعا and good afternoon. Thank you, Prof. Abdulnasir. Thank you, Dr. Dia. So here I'll be talking something specific about Sultan Qaboos University, and I will start by giving some observations about what I faced, or all we face as a faculty members daily with the students' inquiries and what we can feel with the students. Now, as a two general side we have, on one side we found that there is a problem of lack of information. So students are not having the correct or the exact or the right information they needed from one side, and from other side we have a lot of digital information, and we were not using that to improve the learning process and the choices for the students. So if you go and check the lack of information side, next Rayees, please. So for example, many students are not knowing the academic regulations, although it is published, but many of them, they keep on sending emails or visiting us asking about some basic academic regulations, policies as well. So what is the right policy for that specific issue? Some of them are talking about contacts. So where I can find this instructor or that instructor, how can I reach that instructor? Locations, what are the locations of that room or that center? Timetables, although timetables is given to them, but they are still finding some difficulties in knowing that. And advising. So some of them are saying that what should be the right advice or the right decision I should take given this scenario, which I have. So students are not getting that information. On the other hand, if we see the abundance of information, I mean, we have all the students' record and performances. And we also have digitally their timetables and their movements. However, did we analyze the performance? Did we analyze their social media behavior? Did we check the best option for their timetables? How we can use the analysis? How can we use their records, the results, in which to advise them for the better choices? So this was the first observation about the information. The other observation is that they need to have the information in the easy way. We have to admit that we are living in a generation that needs everything with a button, with a click on one button. The academic regulation is there, but they will not have time or mood to go and check for that specific regulation. They tend to use the easy way, is to knock in our doors and give me the final answer. I don't have time to read. Although we tell them that some of them are available on the website, but it turns out that they don't want to use that. So eventually, maybe in all the generation, having some kind of digital information on a website was something very easy, very simple. It's not for the coming generation. So we need to adapt to that and provide the information in a much easier way. So this is observation number 2. Observation number 3 is the trusted information. So they keep on checking that is this a trusted answer or no? And therefore they tend to go to 1 or 2 faculty members in the college or in the department to get that trusted information, which increase the load on the system. Another observation is of course, they need to have information 24/7. So especially during the pandemic, we were flooded with emails 24/7, and then we had to respond to all of them, which was really hard and difficult. Now, if we can have an AI application with a small button that can respond to students' queries, that will really change dramatically the efficiency in our system. On one hand, students will get that information to have a better decision-making process. On the other hand, it will reduce the load on faculty members or the admins, and to use that time to help some other issues here. So if you will receive a couple of emails just asking what is the email of that, or what is the number of that, or where can I get that? If we get rid of all these, I would say, low level of queries, then we can use our time to better advise those who have really some serious situations or issues. So having a single interface which you can share it as will be seen with Rayees and Muna. So with a small interface where you can text and ask a question and immediately you get the answer, or hopefully by using a voice command, that will really improve and will change the system here in SQU. Having said that, the other part which can be done, we have a lot of difficulties with the students when they are not following the degree plans. So having a good advice from a system that tells the students, if you are not taking this course this semester, these are the consequences, that you will be delayed by this year or by this semester. Or if we can train the students' performances where we can advise and give, like if a student, if you are taking this course with this course A with course B in this semester, then this is the percentage of students who got this grade or who got this grade, or this is the percentage of students who went on probation. So all this analysis can provide detailed information to the students to have a better decision making. This is the end of my part, and I'll let you enjoy Rayees and Muna in the coming slides. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Hassan, for your presentation. Hello everyone. My name is Rayees Afroz. I'm working as a programmer in Sultan Qaboos University. Me and my teammate Muna Subhi, who is working as an engineer in PTO, will continue with the remaining of the presentation. We will be switching between the slides as we have shared them. Yeah. So as Dr. Hassan has pointed out his observations regarding the students' issues faced by the students about the lack of information, even if there is abundance of information, there is a need of an interface which can assist students and even other users or visitors or prospective students who can access the information easily. So keeping that in mind, we started with addressing these issues, and we started with developing a chatbot, which is actually a part conversational AI. It belongs to the area called conversational AI. Now, this conversational AI is a part of artificial intelligence, which handles human-computer interaction in the form of conversation. From the beginning of the computers, we have been interacting with them through various devices like keyboard, mouse, touchpad, and so on and so forth. But this conversation AI is taking it to the next level. So that we can talk to computers like a natural environment. So this area of AI will imitate a natural environment of information exchange between human and computer. Now, this is not new. This is a fascination which started in 1950s with the Turing test. Many of you might have read about it and familiar about it. And in 1960s, the first chatbot which was developed was a psychotherapist, Eliza. It was called as Eliza. So since then, the scientists and researchers has this fascination of making machine intelligence enough so that they can talk to people and help them in a natural form. And with the improvements in areas like machine learning and natural language processing, this is becoming possible now. With the use of these areas, we process the machines are taking user input in the form of text and voice, and they are processing it and generating responses as a normal human. So they are imitating a conversation. We are already started using it. You can see on the screen some of the examples of virtual assistants like Apple Siri, Amazon Alexa, Google Assistant, and Microsoft Cortana. So all these, many of us, or almost all of us, have used through our PCs or mobile phones or assistant devices. So a quick diagram here, the flow will help us understand how actually it happens. So a user will type something or say something to a machine in a natural language as we humans speak. Then the machine will parse it, and it will apply the algorithms of natural language processing and machine learning, and it will convert it into a machine understandable format. And it will then generate an appropriate response based on its knowledge, and then it will convert that machine response into a human understandable form, in a natural form, and it will give it, and it will present it to the user. Apart from this, moving one more step ahead is the integration with the systems, because not just conversation, but the machine has to do the personalization. So if a user, whoever it is, a student, a customer, anyone who is interacting with the machine should know who is this person, what is his background, what is his history. So for that, this assistant need to connect to the existing systems, and that is done through the API integration. These assistants, virtual assistants and chatbot, they connect to the existing system. They fetch the required information for those systems related to the user, and they combine this with the responses and present it to the customer, the user. So we have seen this. We have been using these virtual assistants to schedule, place a call, to send a message, and to even order online. So every day we are having new things. So these assistants are helping us not just by searching or providing some knowledge information, but also assisting us in our day-to-day task. So our idea was to develop something similar to help general users as well as students to get the right information quickly. Now, why this conversation AI is important right now or in future? It is actually helping businesses and organizations and institutions in many ways, like, for example, growth. Companies and organizations, they are using this new field to grow their customer base and products and services base. So many of us might have bought these assistants just for the sake of trying. Out of curiosity, we bought them and we tested them. Maybe even if we did not need it at the time initially. So these are new things. So this new thing, the companies are integrating with their products and services and attracting customers. The second is the availability. With this conversation AI, the availability of assistant or the services is 24/7 by 365. So there is no holiday. It is not just 24/7, but throughout the year. And added to that, there is no waiting time. That is another very significant aspect, because every one of us might have gone through, a queue. If we make a call, we wait on a queue, or if we send an email, we wait for the answer, or even if we go personally, we have to wait for our turn. But with this virtual assistants and chatbots, there is no waiting time. Any time of the day, any day of the year, and without waiting. So this is a very significant step. Third is the scalability. Of course, as the customer demand increases, the company has to grow the customer service or their infrastructure. Now, previously, increasing in the form of manpower and all is too difficult. It takes time. But now they just have to increase their resources, the machine power, and that is also not difficult now. It is happening on the fly. Adding more servers, adding more resources is happening on the fly now. So this is also very significant. Fourth is the personalization. Of course, personalization is very important for any user or customer when it interacts with the machine, and if the interaction and conversation is to be as a human conversation, then personalization has to be there. And of course, it will increase the customer trust and loyalty for an organization or a company. Analytics is also a very important part. With these automatic assistants and bots, there is a lot of data which is generated, and this has to be analyzed to for the company and organizations will analyze this data to get better insights and also to understand the customer sentiments. The last but not the least is the data privacy. There is an improvement in this area because the advantage is there is reduced human access to customer data. In the manual format, a human is accessing the customer or the user data to make the response. And here there is a chance of any kind of leak. But when it comes to machine, it is less. So we have already seen, we are already seeing this when we communicate something through emails, and then suddenly something related appears in our web page, an advertisement. So this is how it's already done, and companies are leveraging this aspect also to make secure data, customer data. The next is the role of conversation AI in the future. It's a new beginning, actually. Everyone now have seen the booming of virtual reality and metaverse. Recently, we have seen Facebook changing their name, company name, to Meta, and giving as a hint that they are also entering the virtual reality world. So virtual reality is the next reality. Very soon, it is there to come. For that to happen, conversational AI will play a very vital role. It will act as a bridge, reducing the gap between the real world and the virtual world. So the humans, when they use this virtual reality system, will communicate with the virtual reality systems. So this conversational AI will be a big part of it. Companies in future might have a virtual first customer service. We are actually seeing it right now. When we go to any customer service, any company website, the first thing, they don't provide you any phone number or any email. It will be some kind of automatic assistant. Then later on, if that assistant couldn't help you, it will go to the human form. So this will increase in future, and it will go to the next level. And of course, text and speech is just a beginning. This conversational AI will help systems to understand not just text and speech, but also facial expression, body language, emotion, physical interaction, and so on and so forth. I mean, there is no limit. So all these things will be included for a better experience in the metaverse or the virtual reality world. So over to you, Mona.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. So I am Mona Subhi. Let's continue our presentation and talk about chatbot. So what is chatbot? Chatbot is a computer program that simulates and processes human conversation, either written or spoken, allowing humans to interact with digital devices as if they were communicating with a real person. Chatbot can be a simple program that answers simple query with a single line response, or sophisticated program that learn and evolve to deliver increasing level of personalization as they gather and process information. So we have here a question: do you ever interact with a chatbot? The answer will be yes. you probably interacted with a chatbot, whether you know it or not. I'll give you some examples of scenarios that you probably interact with a chatbot. For example, you are at your computer researching for a product, and a window pops up on your screen asking if you need a help. Or, for example, you might have used voice commands to order a coffee from your neighborhood cafe and receive a response telling you that when your order will be ready and what it will cost. So all these scenarios shows that you could be interact with a chatbot. And here let's show you some statistics, some figures. The first thing, smartphone usage, increasing global smartphone usage. So how many people have smartphones in the world? According to Statista, as you can see, the number of smartphone users is growing at an extremely rapid rate, with almost half the planet owning a smartphone and 2/3 with a mobile device. So below you can see how the number of smartphone users has boomed from 2017 to 2022. There has been almost 50% increase in the number of people with a smartphone. And next, most popular messaging apps. As you can see on the right side here, the chart, looking at the monthly active users of the top 3 most popular messaging apps speaks for the popularity of these chat applications. So the top 3 apps are WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger and WeChat. These combined together more than 4 billion active monthly users. And down here we have the top 2 messaging apps, which are WhatsApp and Facebook are the top 2 messaging according to the figures. As you can see here, we have 2 billion users on WhatsApp and 1.3 billion users on Facebook. So this is a huge number. And down here we have the most important figure regarding to our project. There are 300,000 messenger bots. So all these bots are integrated to provide customer services. So why chatbot? Why using chatbot? So instant chat is becoming increasingly popular mode of communication. So because it is, quick, easy, flexible, convenient. A good example, as we saw on the last slide, WhatsApp, how people, the number of users using WhatsApp, and provide interface for quick question and answer mode of communication. Conveniently have multiple conversation at a time. Customer is preferring live chat over phone or email conversation, and also the good reason that chatbot provides 24/7 customer service. So here we have some examples. As you can see, some example of some companies started using AI agent instead of human agent for their business. So here we have, for example, a bank that's providing customer service through a chatbot called iBal. So this iBal is a mobile app, so you can download it on your phone. And the same bank also have this feature providing customer service through a WhatsApp, as you can see here. And here in Oman, in Muscat especially, we have also Muscat electricity distribution. And here, courier company, they also provide customer service through a WhatsApp chatting. And as you can see, if you are familiar with IVR, this chatbot is similar to IVR, but still it's more convenient and flexible. And here we have chatbots examples from universities. And as you can see on the left side here, we have some universities integrated chatbot on their website. For example, here in the Gulf countries, we have SAD chatbots for Qasim University, and we have Safe chatbot for Abu Dhabi University. But the common thing with all these chatbots that to reduce call, email, a walk-in to help desk, provide 24/7 quick access to general information, for example, academic programs, admission requirements, application procedures, and also quick answer to common queries, simple queries, and connect to live agent or human agent for unanswered queries or questions that the chatbot, cannot answer. So it will transfer to a human agent.
Yeah, so now you might have got an idea that our aim here is to provide, to develop a chatbot which can provide some assistant to general users as well as students. So our tasks in the project, the first task in the project was to select a platform to do our implementation. Then the second task was to provide the general information, and the third task was to provide personalized services to the students through this chatbot. So let me start with the first task and share our experience. So what we will do in the remaining coming slides is we will share our experience of what we have done in our project. Now, the first task is selecting a platform. Now, this was a little bit tough as there are a lot of options. When I say a lot, I really mean it. And at a stage we were confused and we were not having time enough to evaluate even some of them. There are a lot of actually, because in recent years this conversation AI, virtual assistants and chatbots, they have caught up popularity among general public as well as among businesses. So that's why there are a lot of new companies and the old platforms have also increased their resources. So we tried to check as many as we could. And from our understanding, we have classified them into three categories. First one, as you see, it is free and open source software platforms. The second one is ready-to-use platform. And the third one is cloud platforms. As from the name, you might get an idea. Free and open source software platforms are free to use. They are available and the source is open. And again, there are a lot of frameworks, libraries available in this category. These are some of them which you can see on the screen: Chatterbot, BotPrest, Microsoft Bot Framework, Rasa, BotKit, WitAI. The technologies is spanning from .NET, C#, Python, and so on and so forth. So they're ranging from between among many technologies. These platforms are available. And the next one is the ready-to-use platforms. Now, these in this category also, there are a lot of companies. Some of them are Chatfuel, Botsify, FlowX, and whatnot. These are companies, commercial companies formed to provide services to the organizations and companies. So whoever wants to have a virtual assistant and a chatbot on their website or in their company, they are providing the service. The third category is the cloud platform, and we all of us are familiar with them. Google, IBM, Amazon. They are the most popular. These are giants, big companies. You know how big they are. They have a lot of resources, and they also have a strong AI infrastructure now. So these are the three categories we classified based on our understanding. There is a simple comparison we try to put here to better understand what are the differences among these three. So if you talk about the technical knowledge, for the FOSS platform, as you might see in the previous slide, these are all development frameworks and libraries. So one need to have a technical expertise to work on these platforms. And sometimes if your project size is big, then you need a team for developers and a whole team, a complete team, and you have to go through the complete cycle of developing, completing a project. So that's the requirement when it comes to technical knowledge in the FOSS platform. In the ready-to-use platform, there is no need for any technical knowledge. Any person who know how to use computer, how to use web, how to interact with a website, how to interact with a basic web application, they can create their own chatbot using these platforms. So as we have seen some names like Chatflu, Botsify, these are very good. They have some of them have very easy to use interface and very informative interface. So even without going through any help or any training or any videos, you can create a bot in no time actually. The third one is the cloud platforms. So you need to have some kind of technical knowledge, because might not be an expert, but you need to have some technical knowledge, because you need to apply some technical stuff here. Coming to the second part is the templates. In FOSS platform, of course, you will be developing everything from scratch, so you don't have any templates. Maybe there are few, but if you are using a platform, then it is better to start from scratch. In ready-to-use platform, there are a lot of templates. For most popular businesses like hospitals, for education, for any e-commerce website, most of the companies, they have ready-to-use template, which has a lot of built-in knowledge ready to be used. So you can just do some changes, use the template, and you can be ready with a virtual assistant or a chatbot on your website. So ready-to-use platform, the main advantage of the ready-to-use platform is this. Cloud platforms, there is no template there, but of course, less work is required when it compares to FOSS platform. From the infrastructure point of view, for FOSS platform, it is the client that depends on whom the infrastructure is depend. You can use your own infrastructure, in-house infrastructure like data center and all, or you can use a cloud infrastructure. So it is all depends on your capacity and requirements. Ready-to-use platform, it is provider-based. It depends on the company. Some of the companies we have seen have good infrastructure and they provide very fast services, but some were not. So it all depends on the company which you are acquiring. Cloud platforms, of course, these are giants. Google, Amazon, and IBM. These are big companies. They have huge infrastructure. There is no limit to them. Coming to the customization part, as I said, full control is on us, so we can do whatever we like here. In ready-to-use platform, there is limited customization, or I can say very limited, because we have to use whatever they have got. Of course, if you want to do customization, then we have to be dependent on the service provider. In cloud platforms, of course, there are a variety of customization integration options, as they have a lot of services in them. Pricing, FOSS platforms is free to use, and it is open sourced. When it comes to ready-to-use platforms, it is mostly subscription-based pricing, and it varies from company to company. Cloud-based platform, it is mostly usage-based pricing, like for example, request based or query based, something like that. For hosting, FOSS platform, you can host it locally if you have a data center, or you can hire a data center over the cloud. For ready-to-use platform, you have to go with the hosting which is provided by the service provider, which could be good, which could be not good. Cloud-based platform, of course, hosting is on cloud, and the service is provided as you can afford. So they don't have any limit. So these are some study what we have done when it comes to selecting a platform. Finally, after going through all of them and based on our project scope and requirements, we have selected IBM Watson Assistant. This is one of the first company to start with the virtual assistant and chatbot. They have a free and a light edition with some monthly active user limit, which is a very advantage for any company, any small company, or even educational institution. They can start with this. They have 40 plus products which you can use free for life, so you don't have to pay anything if you are within the boundary, within the limit. Of course, when you cross the limit, you have to pay as you go. They have a huge cloud infrastructure, especially for B2B and B2C. So they have a lot of services and they have huge cloud infrastructure. It has many significant features like processing unstructured data and also heterogeneous data. This is one of the good feature which we found in IBM Watson, that easily it allows you to integrate the data from different kinds of source. It could be RDBMS database. It could be JSON data based on JSON. It could be just a plain simple file. Or it could be an Excel file. So all different kinds of data can be integrated with it, and it has a very powerful AI engine which allows intelligent search within these data.
May I remind you that we still have 20 minutes for demonstration and questions?
Yes.
It's 10 past 4 already.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah. So we'll move a little bit, we'll speed up a little bit. So that's why we selected based on these good features. So then after selecting the platform, the first task was to implement the chatbot with the general information access. Over to you, Mona.
So here, after we selected the platform, we start building the chatbot users to be able to access general information about the university and easily get response for their queries. All the information extracted from SQ website, which make it simple for the user instead of searching from the website. And so these information that we extracted, like SQ mail library, library location, schedule, show you that when the library open and when it is closed, SQ map, especially for new students, admission, email and password problems, and academic calendar. So we did two approaches. So the first approach is to extract data from SQ website using a web crawler. And basically web crawler, as you can see on this, the process on the right side, here we're starting with a list of known URLs. It will search or crawl these URLs for data. After that, these information or data stored in the index. When the user sends his query, it will go through ranking algorithms and then to the index to search for an answer. IBM Watson Assistant has similar idea with this feature called search skill, and we tried to use it. But there is some advantages and disadvantages for this feature. well, the advantages, it's quickly to do it and automatic, but the disadvantages, it's less accurate and indirect. So here are some screenshots that we have been taken. Yeah.
So I think we can go with the demo. That would be better because of the short. We are falling short of time. So we will just move forward to. So the first part was to provide general information access. And the second part was to provide the customized services, personalized services for the students. So for that, we have developed an API because all the student information and all is present in university student information system. That has to be fetched. It could be more than one. So we developed an API. Now this API will serve the data to the chatbot. So as you can see on the screen, when the student requests for something, the chatbot through the API will collect information and merge it within the responses. So for the personalized services, we developed an API. So of course, to provide personalized services, the main aspect was the student verification. Because we need to make sure that we need to authenticate that the student who is asking for information is the right student. For that, we have adopted the approach of OTP. Everyone is familiar what is OTP. So when the student, as you can see on the screen, if the student say I'm an existing student, then the chatbot will ask for his student number, ID number. After that, the chatbot will say that an OTP is sent to your email as well as mobile. So the student will receive an OTP. Now this OTP, the chatbot will fetch the contact information through the API and send an SMS and email. Now the student, after successfully entering the correct OTP, the chatbot will authenticate and identify the student and will present with the customized services. So let me just try to demonstrate quickly the bot to you. I hope you can see the web page on the screen. If someone can confirm.
Yes.
So this is just for testing because it is still under development phase. We have started. So this is just a test page we have created. So on the right hand corner, you can see, bottom corner, you can see that this chatbot is integrated. So Watson has features to integrate the chatbot with your website, with Facebook and with Slack. And in near future, they will be providing WhatsApp integration also. So when they start with the virtual assistant, they will have an option to select the language. Watson also have multi-language support in which Arabic is included, and we have tried and it is pretty good. So the user can select the language. Once they select the language, they get an introduction as well as an option. So there are multiple options based on the information, and they can select either they can select the option or they can even type a query directly. The option were provided for assisting the students. Initially they might not know what to type, what to do. So that's why these options are available. But even they can type plain queries. So once, let's say, student services was selected, now the chatbot is asking, how may I help you? And select one of the option here. So they can ask any query here. They can search for staff and they can search for a location. So for example, they can search for who is head of computer science department. So they can type the query and they can search for information. Okay, so there is something going on. It is under work in progress. So just pardon us. Let's say get me contact for Dr. Zia. Let us see if we get an answer for this. Yeah, so as you can see here, even small spelling mistakes are also considered by the chatbot. So I wanted to search for Dr. Zia, and it searched for the data, and it provided with some results. So it could be one of them. So the students can know the room number and the telephone number. This is one of the concern which were presented by Dr. Hassan, that the student doesn't know the room location and all the contact information, so they can get through this chatbot. And as per the personalized and so on and so forth, they can type a lot of other queries. We have tried to provide as much as information to the chatbot. Let's see some example of personalized queries. Let's say if I say that I'm a SQU student. So I'm trying to identify myself as an SQU student, though now they're asking for student ID. So I'm just using a sample one for demonstration purpose. So now immediately through the API integration, it has sent me an OTP. So let me enter the OTP. I got an OTP. I have kept my phone number for testing. So similarly, students will get an OTP. Once they receive an OTP, the student is authenticated, and the chatbot is saying how he can help. So these are some of the options student can go for. They can see their timetable, their degree plan, their degree audit report, and course advisor. So let us see. Let's say my timetable. And it integrates with the API, and it shows the timetable. And let's see what courses I take this semester. So now this is like a course advisor based on the courses offered this semester, the student's degree plan, and the courses he completed till date, and prerequisite fulfillment. It can present, the chatbot can present this list of courses he can register this semester. And the student can also get information like get course info, or students are very well aware of the course codes. So using the course code, they can get detailed information about a course, that which department is offering it, what are the number of credits, the title, and some description, and including the prerequisites. They can also search for courses, like search for courses related to programming. So so let us see the results. So they can search for courses also, and they can also ask for their degree plan. Now, this is another important feature a student can leverage. As you can see, the degree plan details is provided for that student with the individual unit, the credits they need to earn, the credits they have already earned, and the remaining credit they need to earn, which is remaining. So this information is provided to them, and they can also refer to the actual degree plan from the website. So now they don't have to search or ask someone or go to someone to get the details. They can just get the details on their fingertips. So these are some of the services, customized services added to the general information services we have provided to the students. So let me just proceed with the slide. Yeah, so now this is an evolving process. So initial version might not have all the answers, but the more it is used, the more it will become better. IBM Watson also have a good dashboard which provide logs for chats, unanswered queries, and sometimes it also identifies some missing information. So constantly we can improve and we can tweak the chatbot and its data to provide the best possible answers to the students or the other users. In the future work, we have planned, as I said, it is an ongoing process. We have a lot of ideas which we want to implement, like providing a feedback mechanism where students can provide a quick feedback even during the course period, and based on the feedback, the course material and the help will be provided automatically without the intervention of the instructor. And on the other side, based on the feedback, the instructor can also improve the course material. So we have a lot of ideas we are planning to work on this project. So we'll stop here. Thank you all for your presence and attention.
Thank you very much for the whole team for this tutorial. We have like 6 minutes for questions, and we already have 2 questions from Dr. Rami Al-Hmouz. First question is really controversial, and I'm not sure who's prepared to answer this question. The question says, will AI replace the teachers? What do you think, panelists?
Dr. Shem, I can answer both questions.
Please go ahead.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So AI cannot replace the teachers because AI cannot meet the standards of friendly attitude, listening skills, respectful attitude, patient, cannot be patient, discipline skills. So there are something missing in AI education tools. Cannot replace the human being teacher at all. But as we said, it facilitates the works. There are also, for the second question, I think they are related to each other, that AI have some problem sometimes because it is programmable. Who program it? Who develop it? For example, now Rayees and Muna developed this chatbot, but they are sitting with us. We are teachers, me and Dr. Nadir and Dr. Hassan. So if they are not teachers and they develop the algorithm, there will be some problems because they cannot think like teachers. But the team of developing must contain the teacher also. Otherwise, the AI algorithm will be developed not correctly. This is one point. The other point, sometimes the AI or any computer can measure some wrong information that you cannot correct it. We need to measure the performance of the students, how they are relating to the lecture, how they are understanding the lecture. So if you don't ask them, if the information you get it indirectly, this could be sometimes a problem. So this is also one danger of using AI in education. We concentrate too much about adaptability, that we need to make the system adaptive for the student. Maybe this is a cost of having less quality in sometimes. So one must be sure that we can have advantages of AI that facilitate the work of a student and that facilitate the work of teachers, but not replacing the teachers. I think this is my answer. I don't know whether there is another question.
There is one.
Yeah, when the chat would be available for students, I think maybe Muna, you can answer. One student, one listener, one participant asked, when would the chat would be available for students?
Well, we try to, develop it more, and when it is ready, of course, we integrate it on the SQ website so the students can use it, because as much as the student use the chatbot, it will, benefit for us to develop it, and because the chatbot will learn from the student questions and be smarter to answer the queries or questions that the student will be asked.
Thank you. I think we have this project for 2 years. We finished 1 year working on it, and I think we have still 1 year to complete it. And after we complete it, we can later maybe extend the project to have it for other institutes, or even for the schools, or even to improve it more, since the work is new for us at SQU. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the whole team, and thank you, Professor Abdulnasir, for answering the questions.